Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to another edition of Conscious Connections, where we explore soul centered conversations that awaken truth, inspire healing, and remind us of our divine power. I am your host, Dr. Deborah Carson, the founder of the Fear to Freedom Project. And I love to sit down with beautiful souls who are transforming lives through their gifts, their stories, and their wisdom. Together, we move beyond fear right into freedom, one conscious conversation at a time. And today, we welcome my goddess sister, Marta, a psychic medium, spiritual teacher, and intuitive mentor who helps others trust their connection with spirit, communicate with their angels, and live in alignment with their soul's purpose. Her connection to spirit began in childhood and deepened through profound experiences that taught her the strength of faith, forgiveness, and love beyond the veil. She is the founder of the Psychic Mediumship Academy and the host of the Perfectly and Perfect Spiritual podcast, where she shares soulful stories, divine insights, and heart led teachings for spiritual seekers around the world. Welcome to the Fear to Freedom Project, sister. So glad you're here.
I am so excited. Hello, everyone. Hello, Deborah. I'm very looking forward to this conversation. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. We met because we have the same mentor and the same coach, the great Abiola Abrams, and I'm glad to share such a wonderful space with you there and here. And so I'm going to dig right in to honor your time. So you begin, this is the beginning of your beautiful gift where you first saw a spirit at 5 years old. That was your great grandmother beside your bed. How did that moment shape your view of the unseen world?
Hmm. I used to be scared of that because it wasn't confirmed back then that it was real.
Mhm.
Looking back, it was the most beautiful gift that I've ever received. But I grew up in a family that didn't know about a possibility of connecting with your loved ones on the other side.
Yeah.
So when I mentioned that this happened, I was told that those were nightmares. And it was extremely challenging because I was scared to sleep without the light on. And I remember my father shouting at me, and I had to speak with the ladies at nursery, and they managed to persuade my family to let me have the light on. And it was as I was growing up that I found out that my great grandmother, she died in the attic of this building. And I'm like, oh, it was her. So she just wanted to get to know me. She was overlooking. So my perception of that encounter, or there are many encounters, changed.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're taught to shut things down like that, it's automatically shut down. That's a nightmare, and we were taught that way. So how did you move from fear to trust?
hmm I think I have to, if I was to find another entry point, I would want to talk about my divorce, living an abusive relationship. So when I was an adult, it was 2018 that I left an abusive relationship, and it took over 4 years and a half um, in court to be able to free myself. And in this moment, I started hearing the voice of my grandmother. But I remember that I didn't question. I just had that inner knowing that this
Mm.
was real. I knew it was her. I could hear her. I could see her in my third eye, and
Could you see her face?
I could see her face. And but also most importantly, there was that knowing. I could feel her energy, and
Yeah, I
also
get
the
that.
way she phrased her words. They were very typical. It wasn't the way I would phrase my sentences. And back then, I remember I was feeling very low, very depressed, and she was just so happy, so supportive. Uh, so that really enabled me to trust that this was real. And then it continued when I started
So,
communicating more.
okay, so as a child, you kind of shut that down and then it kind of transferred into adultship.
Um, I think so. Well, I always spoke with various loved ones when they were crossing over because I thought everyone would do it. I grew up
Ah, okay,
Roman
got you.
Catholic, and people would tell us, "Oh, he can see us. Oh, she can see us." But I didn't know that they didn't believe in that. So I would have conversations with my
Okay.
grandparents because I thought everyone spoke to angels, to God of their own understanding. I knew when various loved ones would cross over, I would always have that information to make the last phone call, to go and see someone without knowing. Um, but I don't think I was aware, I haven't been aware that I was a psychic medium until adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't cultivate it. I didn't even know that psychic mediums existed because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any psychic mediums at home. So when I found out, I think it was one of my mentors live that I attended, and I heard you're a psychic medium. And I'm like, this is a joke. Like
Yeah.
I've heard everything, but like me being a psychic medium, there's no way.
Okay, okay. So for those who wonder what mediumship is, like, how would you describe it in its simplest terms?
Mhm. So, mediumship is an ability to communicate with the souls who have crossed over, with those who are on the other side. Uh, well, what spirit reminds me now to mention. So there's a difference between being a medium and being a psychic. So a
Mm,
psychic reads the energy of a living person. So I can tune to your energy and I can let you know what I'm picking up based on your energy. Whereas when you work as a medium, you connect with the energies that are on the other side. To simplify it. So basically, in order to be able to work as a medium, we have to raise our vibration. Our loved ones lower their vibration, and we meet in the middle. That's why medium. That's
wow.
why there's that term. Yeah.
So you can do both. That's pretty cool. The first time, well, my sister was pretty intuitive when we were younger. I thought it was weird, but she used to be very intuitive about things that were going to happen before they happen.
Mm,
And I just really thought that was weird. But the first time that I was introduced to a medium, one that's very personal to me, is my sister friend. She didn't tell me. We've been friends for years, and she never told me that she spoke to the other side until one day my dad came through, and it scared the behoos out of me, actually, because I just didn't know she could do that. And yeah, all of my ancestors came through after that. I mean, everybody has just came through, and just I was shocked. I was just in awe, but that really opened up an entire spiritual door for me. It opened up a portal to an awareness of, oh my gosh, what we learned and what we've been conditioned to think does not exist, is something different. So it's beautiful. Um, this is
mm,
a question that everyone asks. Are some people simply born gifted, or can everyone be a medium? Does everyone have the ability to communicate with people on the other side?
mm. I truly believe that every person is able to communicate with their own loved ones. There's that invisible string from heart to heart. I believe that we change form when we cross over, but our loved ones are on the other side. So each and everyone who's just listening and watching to this episode, whether they know how to do it or not, are able to connect. I don't believe that every person is able to connect with other people's loved ones, but you can definitely be able to tap into your own ones. and you can enhance it. It is like a muscle. The more you do it, the more you trust, the deeper that connection becomes.
I believe that too. I do because I talk to my ancestors all the time and they are so present in my life. It is absolutely adorable. I love it. I honor them. I have altars that honor them. And yeah, they are with me, guiding me. I don't know. There's a couple times that this was not even invoked at all. I mean, there was a couple times that like my girlfriend's dad started putting some pictures in my head of her, and
Mhm,
yeah, I didn't even ask for that. We were actually at the end of a podcast, and we were in back in the studio just kinda integrating, and I started getting these pictures, and I'm like, "There's a man holding a baby," and so she
mhm,
pulled up the picture, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what your daddy's here. I guess he's letting me know
mhm,
something," and then one time random out at, the restaurant, I was talking to a guy, and he was, kind of pouring out his heart about his, pain and of his father's passing, and I just kept hearing this voice say, "Let him know I'm here. Let him know that I'm here."
mhm,
And he was talking to my partner at the time, "Just let him know I'm here." And it just kept standing, and I was like, "Hey,"
mhm,
like,
mhm,
"Get out of my ear like that. Don't you're pushy." And so I said, "Just a moment," because they were talking, and then finally I was like, "Your dad is here and he wants you to know da 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 da."
mhm,
And he was just so happy, like he felt him. And I came home and told my girlfriend who's a medium, and she said, "We're gonna have a party. You were able to channel." And I told her how pushy, that the guy was, and the spirit was, and I was like, "Hey, get out of my ear like that." And she said, "Good, you have control. You can let
mhm.
spirits know that you're in control. Don't push or whatever." So that was really interesting. I always say weird, but that was really interesting. So yeah, I do believe that we all have the ability to do that. I don't know about other loved ones, but that happened to me. It doesn't happen often, but I believe that my abilities are growing every day, and I love that. You know why? Because my father's passing was very hard for me. It was just very devastating, and I I just didn't wanna be without him, and I've you don't know where your loved ones go, but they don't go anywhere. I mean, they do, they're doing whatever they do on the other side and going through their review and going through their ascension and whatever work, spiritual work they have to continue to do, it doesn't stop. I understand
Mhm,
that now, but I didn't know that, and when my girlfriend came through with my dad and he talked to me and let me know, like, he's been there along the way, I that I mean, that really healed things for me, and even my dad came back as a part like, he was a part of my spiritual healing in some things that he did on earth that
mhm,
impacted my whole life as an adult, and so it's healing for people to know that they can still communicate and have relationship with their loved ones on the other side, and I just look forward to expanding myself and opening myself up and to those vibrations so I can help heal the collective in whatever way I'm here to do
mhm.
that. So that's a beautiful thing.
I
Um,
love it that you're sharing. I just want to add it because you are, first of all, letting everyone know that there's nothing to be afraid of because they're your own loved ones. Why would you be scared of it? But I understand because if we are not accustomed, it's new. It takes a while to realize, oh, it's still them. They have the same personality, the same energy. They're just by our side. But also the fact that you've mentioned, I think it's so important that we are in control. You it's the same with people here on earthly plane. You are in control. You can set boundaries. And it's the same with the other side. You can still set boundaries. You can still tell them what is it that you're yes for, what is it that you're no for.
I know that's really cool. I wouldn't have known that except that I have a sister friend that is a channel. She's a medium, and so she was telling me, and whenever I meet people like you. But yeah, we don't have to be afraid. But honestly, though, Marta, when she said your dad's standing right behind you, I did scream and jump across the kitchen because that
Mhm.
did scare me because of conditioning, right? But then,
I used to be afraid as well,
yeah,
because you would see spirit with my naked eye, and I set a boundary. I asked the spirit world, okay, when I started developing, this is absolutely out of my comfort zone. Like seeing my own loved ones, okay, but seeing people I've never met
hmm,
in the middle of night in my corridor, I do not want it. That's why I started seeing spirit through my third eye, because I would be like, "Oh no, like come on, come on." Still being a medium, but I'm still conditioned. I was still a human. I'm still a human being.
yeah.
So you can still tell them what is it that we are okay with, and what is it that you wouldn't like to experience.
That's really good because I'm okay with, like, using my voice in that way. It'll be like, I didn't even again, I didn't even know, but I was like, "Dude, you are in my ear, like, cut it." That's exactly how I was like, "Hey, cut that out." And, so, yeah, that's really good that we're sharing this, that you don't have to be afraid. You don't. And that's what
Yeah.
this podcast is all about, moving from fear to freedom. And I feel a lot of freedom now. The more that I become aware, the more that I open up my heart space
Mm.
to the other side, the spiritual world, like connecting with the spiritual world. It is just really such a beautiful connection to me. It is. And I have lived in fear. So if anyone is listening to this and they are like living in fear, or if I can live out of fear and I can move, from fear to freedom, like anyone can, because I was scared as a child and I was just fearful as an adult. And my daughter really gave me permission to access my ancestors. She is a star seed. I didn't know that, but one day she was like pulling my cards, and I wasn't raised that way. I was raised as a Christian. So here my daughter is like using oracle cards, and of course I believe my daughter, and so what she was saying to me was very true. And I was like, "How does she know that? Like, what in the world?" So when I moved to Panama, she said, "Mommy, this is how you call your ancestors. You call your ancestors this way. You create an altar and call them this way." And
Mm.
I did that. And when I tell you a portal was opened up, my ancestors, like, I would use oracle cards because that's what she gave me. And I used abiolas, and like answers were coming, and the candles were burning a certain way, and I would take a picture and send
Mm.
it to her, and she would say, "It means this, it means that." And everything was just in alignment. So I was just so like in shock. I would pull more and
Mhm.
just like I just wanted to discover and know more. And then, like 2 years later, my ancestors came to me in meditation, and it was a lot of them. It was the presence of many, not just my
Mhm.
grandmother, but a whole lineage. And they said to me that we came because you called us. And I was like, and they showed that I was calling them in Panama, and so they are here with me, and I just love them. I do. All right. So let me move on because I could talk about,
But
myself,
I
but
think it's so important that you're talking. And another thing that popped into my mind is that for anyone who's new to this, speak to your loved ones the way Deborah's speaking to her own. Like the way I speak with my mom, like we have cup of coffee in the garden and I tell her, Mom, like I'm not listening to you now. Like, no, you are not going to be telling me what to do. Like, no, because our loved ones, they still have the same opinions. So there's a difference when you communicate with angels, spirit guides. They might not be so biased, but the loved ones, they still have the same personality, and there's no separation. You do not need, I don't know what type of rituals to be able to connect. You can just have fun with them and invite them to
I'm
your day-to-day life.
yes, I'm glad you said that because I was just talking to my sister friend, and she's going to watch this podcast too. And I was telling her, I was like, some of your ancestors are telling you that's their stuff. That is their stuff, and you don't have to like listen to all of their stuff. And some of them are not as evolved as others on the other side. So some of them may attach to some of our lower vibrational energies, right? Or our lower vibrational emotions. And they live in that space. So if you are living in fear and anger, there are some ancestors that will attach to that and probably like embellish it a little bit here. And so she's like, my ancestors are telling me this, that, and the other. And I said, listen, you got to listen to the ancestors that are evolved and that live in love, but they have their own opinion over there on the other
Mhm.
side. And I can agree with you about the angelic presence. That was actually my next question. So we're going right into it, like the difference between angels and your ancestors and loved ones. And so my angel guides are so non-judgmental. It is all about love. It is,
Mhm.
when I say love, like love, it's nothing that you could do or say that could separate like that love. And I feel the presence of my guardian angel, but it's always
Mm.
like, it's different for me. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's a different presence, it's a different energy, and it's guidance, and it's just
Mm.
love all the time.
I love it.
But
And that's
my
what we need as human beings, to be reminded of love,
yeah,
so I love it.
yes, that's true. But my ancestors, they're like, they have a they had a voice whenever they came to me, like, we
Mhm.
will show you the way, millions will follow you, we will show you the way, serve humanity, serve humanity. They were just telling me like, serve humanity, we will show you the way. And don't you are not to be afraid of anything. They were like so pointed and just directed about everything. And I can remember when I was so like angry about this whole, like, what I've been taught was different than what it is. And I actually was angry because I was losing friends, and it felt like this, what they call a dark night of the soul. I don't know, but
Mm.
it was hard for me. And I was just mad at source. I was mad, like I felt bamboozled. Like, why did I have to go through all of this? And why am I going through this? And I just went through like this thing in my house by myself for like months of like anger, cursing. I was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. This is stupid. Why did we even come here? I didn't ask to do this. And I was just, I mean, every day. It was horrible. And I could feel the presence of like everybody just standing back and allowing me to be in the space that I was in, but I still
Mm.
felt loved, but I felt the presence of everyone, every angel guide, every ancestor. They were just like, like, it's okay. And the moment that I stopped fighting, because I was really like fighting, I felt like I was beating source, like, I'm just gonna beat you up,
Mm.
and the moment that I stopped, it was like source was like, I am you. And I felt like I was beating up myself. And
Mm.
the moment that I stopped that, it's like this awareness came, like, you are me. You don't have to fight me because you're fighting yourself.
Mhm.
Like, you have the power to do all of these things, to become more aware. And the moment I stopped, I felt literally like the blows to my body stopped. I felt the
Mm.
pain just like dissipate and ease. And I was like, okay, I don't have to resist anymore. I was resisting everything. So it's just, it's interesting to connect those two worlds, but I love it
Mm.
though. I really do. It's helping me. So I want to ask you, so we talked about that. How do we use mediumship? Well, I think I just talked about it, but I want you to talk about it. How do we use mediumship for healing? How do you do that with your clients?
I think whether mediumship or psychic information, everything is about healing. Well, as a medium, as a psychic medium, I always set an intention that whatever information I'm going to receive for my clients, I channel angels, spirit guides, and loved ones. Well, I want those messages to be healing. So I think there's a power about intentions.
Mm,
And then what's important to mention is that, well, first of all, it's a three-way link. So as clients, we when we come for a reading, we have to be open to hear what is it that the other side wants us to know. It's not always what we want to hear, but it will be always what's for our highest good. So I think the moment as a medium, as a psychic medium, when you stop controlling the spirit world
Yeah.
and you allow them to give you the information, because I channel, it passes through me, that information doesn't come from me, then you're able to heal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really true. I was trying to control some things when I was angry. I was like, I want to control this. So, I mean, I've always tried to live in control, but I've just given up the reins. And when I feel like I want to control, but we can't control it. I just don't feel like I'm just in allowing now. I'm in this space of, okay, whatever is next, and it
Mm.
feels better for me to just allow. It
And
feels
you
like,
receive all of those messages because you were mentioning about when you stopped fighting yourself, then you experience, I don't know whether it was freedom, but the word freedom comes to my mind. And this is what I try to do with my clients as well. They come for a reading, but I try and equip them with their own tools of how they can enhance or maybe start the connection with their loved ones.
yeah,
But also, what's important and what I keep hearing from my spirit guides, they want us to remember that we have all the answers within ourselves. It's about not giving power externally. So the minute we allow ourselves to just be and to channel those messages, uh, well, spirit world wants us to know that we are never alone. There's always that guidance. We're always supported. And I think that's empowering when we realize that they're my guides, my angels, my loved ones. They really want what's best for me. So I just have to relax, surrender,
mhm.
and listen. And of course, we have a free will as human beings. So then what we are going to do with that information, it is up to us.
I really love that. You are spot on. Just allow, don't resist, and that is when I started to feel freedom. Like you said, I just
Mm,
felt so free. I felt like I could hear more, and it was funny too. I had to laugh because I was in shock. I was like, "Oh, here I am thinking that I am fighting God and just being so angry at God," and it's, like Source was like, "W we're one.
mhm,
We I am you, you are me."
mhm,
And I literally felt that resistance and that pain that was inside of my body from all of the fighting and crying and cursing.
mm,
I felt it go away. It lifted immediately like it was gone. I was like, wow, it was a
mhm,
big lesson for me, a huge lesson that I am source, like source is
mhm,
me. I am source. Like we breathe from the same breath and we are all connected to the same consciousness. And that's been a big lesson for me because some people get on my nerves and I want to, like, I don't like you because of the things that you do, but and I'm still working on that stuff, but we all are from the same consciousness. So how do you teach empaths to protect their energy? A lot of my guides talk to me. I have certain rituals that I do to protect my energy and, to wrap myself in that circle, that light energy of protection and love. How do you teach
mhm.
empaths that are very sensitive? Because I didn't know about being an empath. I used to really beat up on myself a lot because I could feel energy and I could sense what was going on, but then I would turn it inward to think that something was wrong with me. So then it's me that is the problem here, And so I now know differently. But how would you protect us? How would you tell us or guide us in protecting our energy and staying open to this love and guidance that comes our way.
Mhm. I have various things that come to my mind. First thing that I would like to mention is that so many of us, we don't know ourselves. Spend time with yourself. Get to know your energy. Get to know your thoughts. Get to know what you are a yes for, what you're a no for. Because how are you to recognize what belongs to you and what belongs to another person? And
Hmm.
it's the same when you communicate with the other side, when you want to have that awareness that you're speaking with the loved ones, or you want to tell a difference, this is an angel or spirit guides, you need to know your own energy first. So everything comes back to us. So the step number one, quieten your mind, allow yourself to just be. Get to know like your mood. Pay attention to how you feel before you interact with certain people. You can trace things, you can write things down. Okay, that person brought me down, or I entered that room and I'm feeling differently. So it's about becoming aware. That's the first thing. And then our thoughts are so powerful. And then you can say, if this doesn't belong to me, I don't want it, let it go. So this is just as powerful as that. Then, of course, you can work with your angels, spirit guides, and tell them to protect your energy. As of course, there are various ways of protecting our energy and wrapping ourselves with the energy bubbles. And you can work with Archangel Michael, that I do like working with. But like, choose the angel that you want to work with. Like, don't assume I might tell you that like I love working with this particular archangel, but allow yourself, when you're ready, to spend time and then invite your angels and to see who is going to come. You might be able to see a color, you might be able to hear or just feel their presence, and then work with those energies. And then listen to yourself, like, how do I feel I can protect myself? It's about not giving the power away. I truly believe grounding ourselves. Yeah, we talk about grounding, but this is all real, because when we connect to the energy of Mother Earth, we can feel very rooted and we can feel more stable. It's like a tree. The deeper your roots are, the better, the safer you're going to feel when interacting with various energies. And I mean, again, when you interact with those who are here on Earth, but also you might be picking up on energies of your loved ones or other people's loved ones on the other side. So the more you spend time in nature, the more you uh, dance or maybe exercise and return to your body, the safer you're going to feel. I feel like your soul is going to relax. So that's another thing. And two other things that Spirit wants to mention, because I don't want to overcomplicate it. It's about having fun and joy. The more you raise your vibration, uh, the better you're protected, because certain individuals who vibrate at a different frequency are not able to get to you. And also keep opening your heart space. I know so many of us, they go through various heartbreaks, but the more you operate with your heart space, the more you keep expanding that energy of the heart, I feel like you're automatically protected.
Yeah,
So yeah, those are the
that's
things that have
really
popped into my mind.
that's beautiful, and I totally agree. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing, and I want to say to the audience that especially if you were raised in Western culture, like we were just taught none of this. Everything was hidden. Everything was not to have the courage to trust yourself. And that's what's been happening to me. I trust myself because at first I was like, well, how do I know it's not me thinking and it's an ancestor? How do I know that it's a spirit? How do I know?
Mhm.
How do I know? How do I know? And I am always questioning. I am known for questions. And so how do I know? Is because I trust myself. I have to trust myself. I had to learn to trust myself. And that's been a great lesson for me. And I do trust and honor myself now. And I honor the intuition that comes through. So it's beautiful. Here, I like to explore like the courage it takes to move from fear to freedom. What personal freedoms did you have to overcome to lean into your mediumship, to trust yourself more? What
Mhm.
personal fears?
I, f- I feel it's an ongoing process of being a human because if I had overcome everything, I would be ready to cross over. I think the minute you say yes, that I want to work as a psychic medium, I want to be of service, spirit world keeps bringing the layers, and I feel like it's an ongoing process. But what did I have to overcome? Well, I definitely said yes at certain point of my life that I want to do it. So I have a very developed logical mind, and my mind would question because my mind tried to protect me. My ego tried to protect me. My ego tried to persuade me that it wasn't real and would come up with every possible excuse why I should not be doing, why other people are not going to accept me for who I am. But deep down, I knew that this was my path because nothing has ever ignited my soul more. And the more when I was still hesitating and like thinking, should I be doing it full time or should I maybe be doing it every once in a while? I would be always receiving emails, messages from my clients, initially friends, colleagues, how much I helped them. Or they would be telling me, oh, I'm now receiving those signs and symbols. So there's no coincidence. So spirit world's been like bringing that evidence, but various personal fears of being judged,
Mhm.
of questioning whether it was real. But then I experienced that firsthand because I have so many of my own loved ones and I knew it was real and I so much wanted to help other people. So the minute I just decided to be of service, I stopped concentrating of my own fears. So it's about leaning into fear. It's not about, well, you don't ignore completely, but you just concentrate on what you're meant to be doing. So yeah, I don't know whether I've answered
No,
your
yeah, that's
question.
perfect. I totally agree. That's what I'm doing as well. I'm still working through some things, but for the most part, I'm like, it is what it is, and I am more open to source and to the other side, the spirit world, and just deconditioning myself, like getting rid of all of those resistance and barriers and things that I thought was true and those conditions. That's what I focus on, and just allowing spirit to guide me. And for like now I'm working with goddess Isis, and that is a beautiful energy to work with, and I love that. So if you have anything to say, if anything spirit is coming through and you want to leave something with the audience, what would it be? Or if you can lean into anything now before we kind of close out.
Anything that the spirit world wants us to know. Well,
Mhm.
I keep trying to have fun with that communication with the spirit world. And if you are still resisting, like give it a try and see what's going to happen. But set an intention that you are willing to connect. Well, you choose whether with your loved ones, angels, on and guides, and allow yourself to be surprised. Ask for signs and symbols, and then acknowledge. The more you're going to acknowledge, the more the other side is going to say, they see us, they want us, we are going to come more. And I think it's such a beautiful experience. That human experience is easier. We can navigate through our life lessons with so much more ease when we give ourselves permission to trust that our loved ones are really by our side, that they haven't really left us. So this is the message that I've been getting. Yeah.
That's a beautiful message. And if I had any message to bring to the audience, is to live more in your heart, to live in the heart space, because it brings a lot more ease and for you, a lot more freedom. And that's what I would say, to drop into your heart, get quiet, and feel the beat of your heart. And and then ask from that space, not from a space of fear or anger. And yeah, live in that space. It's just a really nice space to live in. I like to ask all of my audience, my guests, what are you most excited about in life right now?
About being alive, about being here and now, about being in this space, or I guess it's the stage of my life where I'm still mastering the art of detachment, about just
Mhm.
enjoying here and now. I get excited about my coffee. I get excited about so many things. Well, every day there is magic around me. So I wouldn't be able to choose. I'm just so grateful to be alive and to still be of service. And yeah, I'm excited about many things. I am excited about spending time with my children. Um, yeah,
Beautiful. And what does freedom mean to you?
freedom. Well, freedom. I feel I'm free now. Freedom means allowing yourself to be your authentic self. Freedom means allowing your soul, your heart space to do whatever you feel like doing without listening to what other people are telling you. It's
Mhm.
about leading from heart space and about listening to yourself and not to external energies.
I love that. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into another episode of the Conscious Connections. And may today's conversation remind you that you are never separate from Source, that love, purpose, and freedom live within you. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this episode with someone who needs light in their life that could use this. And this is where fear ends and freedom begins, right here at the Fear to Freedom Project. Until the next time, peace and love. Thank you so much, Marta, for coming and
Thank you so
sharing your
much.
space. All
Thank
right.
you. Goodbye,
I love
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.